Hi guys, and a warm welcome back to the Watercolour Studio. Today I've got yet another ink and wash for you, and it's of an allotment. So let's roll the intro, let's see how we get on. Everybody, and a warm welcome back. Now, as I said just now, I am going to be doing another ink and wash for you today. It's of some stunning little allotments on some common ground near where I used to live in Hythe, and a place called Saltwood. Now, these are so frequented, well maintained, and it's always inspiring to walk around them and seeing what people are getting up to with growing vegetables and fruit and all sorts of manner of things. But I've often painted these little motifs, these little sheds, and some of the gardens. And I felt that it would make a fantastic ink and wash idea for you guys today. Now, I do know that I did one last week. I painted a little bit of Sissinghurst Castle, where I did the old window, the door, etc. But you guys really enjoyed that. You showed me the support on the channel by subscribing, by adding comments to it, and all showing support and enjoying that bit of content. So what I felt was, right, let's do some more. I enjoy doing ink and washes anyway, and it's great to be able to find something that you guys really enjoy watching. But I don't want to overdo it or anything else. After all, my channel's here to help you. I'm here to pass on my experiences and my knowledge of 30 odd years as a teacher and longer than that as a professional painter. I just want to help you guys out when it comes to your own artistic endeavor. So I don't really want to keep doing the same thing again. What I'm trying to say is I don't want to bore you guys to death over it, but I just want to give you content that you really enjoy. And I felt that last week you did enjoy that one, so I felt, why not, let's do another one and have some fun with it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's jump right in and let's see how we get on. Okay, so what I've got here is a small piece. This is just a 1/8 imperial, so it is quite tiny. It's about 7 by 11, and so it's not a large piece of paper, but it's a piece of Saunders Waterford, and it's hot press paper, very, very smooth, and as I've said before, quite ideal when it comes to doing ink and washes. And the pens and the brushes, as always, are going to be the regular ones, and to that I mean today I'm going to be using my two lames again, as I did last week. I've got the extra fine and I've got the bold one. They're going to be out, and they're also going to have some Diatramentus document ink in, so that is a waterproof black ink, so once it's dry I can go over it with color and water and it will not be affected. My brushes, as always, are Rosemary and Company. I rarely use any other brushes at all. These are a number 14, number 10 and a number 5 round, and this is my lovely rigger that it always comes in handy on almost every painting. They are part of the red, I got that the wrong way around. They are part of the Red Dot series from Rosemary. Now, these are completely synthetic. They're vegan friendly, and if you have any ethical reasons why you like to choose a certain type of brush without animal hair, then these are the ones to go for. They are ideal. They've been perfected by Rosemary over many, many years, and they deliver a great watercolor brush without breaking the bank. I've got to say that too. But if you do decide to buy any of these or any other of Rosemary's brushes, then when you get to the checkout, just put my name in capitals, Unbroken Paul Apps, in the affiliate link on checkout, as I say, and that will give me a little thank you from Rosemary. It doesn't cost you anything for doing that, but it does give me a little something for help promoting the brushes that I use all the time. All right, so now then, let's get started. So first and foremost, you can see that lovely rickety old shed to one side. The composition is really nice. There's loads of little bits, the old barrel, old bottles, a little box in the front there, and there's other things, and we've got the growth and the planting, red beans that are growing up, and obviously it's not quite that time of year yet. The beans are starting to come up and grow but they've got a long way to reach this time. This is sort of early summer, and I felt that it just worked as an image, so that's what we're going to do. Compositionally, it's fantastic because you've got that shed giving you a very strong upright dimension and an L shape like this as a composition, so it's going to really work out well. At least I hope it is. Now, as I said in a previous video, I think this is not cut very square. I'm sure that's going uphill, but never mind, it won't be too far out. But as I've said in previous videos, if you want to not go straight in with a pen, then I would suggest that you use a pencil and draw it first and then ink over your pencil marks. That's quite acceptable. Many people do this. I'm just happy to play around with this and just see exactly what I get up to and what happens, and it doesn't always go to plan. I gotta say, you know, there are some times when I get to the end of a drawing and I wish that I'd used pencil to start with, but it's all part and parcel of learning. It's all part and parcel of creating or making art. So that's really important. And another tip, as I've said before, why don't you take a small piece of paper, quarter it up, and do lots of little studies, and in pencil and indeed in ink. And by the time you've done several of them, you may have that confidence that you can ignore the pencil and go straight in with the ink. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. It doesn't matter. You do whatever you're happiest doing. You do whatever you feel most comfortable about doing, and that will be absolutely fine. At the end of the day, art is about having fun. It's creating and making, and it's about you enjoying that process. So doesn't matter the means, just as long as you have fun doing it. All right, so I'm going to go straight in with the extra fine. And this is where I probably wish I'd gone in with pencil today. I know, I got this feeling in my bones. Right, I'm going to plot roughly where I want that shed. Now, if I look at the picture, it is just below halfway. So I'm going to put a little mark there, just a little reminder mark, where the bottom of the shed should roughly come to. And I want it near the top. So the top of the shed, maybe, let's put it up there somewhere. Now I've got the back, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally come down here, very shallow back, and we're going to have the same sort of line for the front of the roof, and it's old and it's bent and goes like that, something like that anyway. And we got that part going out there. Now it's about the right pitch. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly the right pitch. I'm not going to take a tape measure out and measure yours or you mine. It doesn't really make a lot of odds. I'm just going to a little scribble there. That's that little bit of growth of something climbing up the side wall. I'm going to put a line down there roughly like that. That I know is the bottom of my shed, and I think that that should be a little shorter than that one. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why, but it really is a little bit different. I'm going to bring that down like that. You can see I'm working quite tentatively with my mark making, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. Now the shed door is just partly open. Well, it's only done that because the old wood is warped. I'm going to put the door through there like that. I'm going to come all the way down there, all the way down through there like that. There's my door. A lot of this is going to be lost, and we're going to put the back down now. It comes in a little bit. We've got the side of the roof there. Bring that down. So that's the eave of the roof. We've got, what else? We've got something there. It's a bit red, quite interesting. I don't know what that is. I'm going to stick that in. Oh, there's just so much. Cow parsleys, there are all sorts of plants. So I'm not going to try and draw out any individual or particular plant. What I'm going to do is just scribble around here like this. Scratch around, scribble around. A couple of dry bits of stuff through there. And we've got some dark tree stuff at the back here. I'm just going to make a few marks there. I want to put these in there, and I'm actually going to cheat a little bit, if you don't mind. I'm just going to put in a couple of like beam poles, just to clearly define that even if I don't do a good job of drawing the beans, the beam poles alone will tell you that that's what's there. So I'm going to put those little wigwammy things, clearly identifies what the plant is. I'm going to scribble around here, and lots of greens, darks and light greens. I'm going to make a little allowance for some of these lovely red flowers that you get with runner beans. We have what looks like a buddleia up here, so I can't see too much of it. I've got to try and remember some of these. I want to put some of this beautiful colour in. And I'm using this dark. Now we've got the green beans here, which I'm just sort of putting in some green bean plants. And this one I'm going to make go almost up to the top there. And then we've got this dark element of trees. So we've got some lighter parts of the trees, but we've got a lot of dark shadows. And they come down in a beautiful shape like this. You can imagine there's all our planting, lots of different flowers happening, but then we've got this sort of V shape going back up over here. We've got another tall tree here that's not as dark. We're going to make sure that a shrub coming up here, and there's a nice dark portion that we can isolate these pink flowers, and that's good. It's quite an open form here. Lots of fun. So there's the inking done, and I am now going to put the fine pen away, and I've got the other one ready for when I need it, but I'm going to get the brushes going. I have some white gouache if I need that towards the end for these lovely white flowers. So first and foremost then, I'm going to come in with a mid to sort of mid color green, but quite cool in color, because it's all these lighter ones at the back here, but they're not a big strong green color. I'm going to give it a little bit of raw sienna just to take it off the pure viridian, and I'm just going to sweep that in as a quick suggestion like that, coming down into that part there, over the back through these ones, because these will actually have some of the same color information, trying to avoid some of those sticks. I didn't miss all of them. I got some of them in. Never mind. Okay, just coming down through here. And then we got blue sky. So let's just drop that blue sky in. And I'm going to put in a little bit of cobalt to that. Just going to drop that in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in. I'm going to put a little bit of that green with some of that blue. I'm just going to put in a very faint bit more blue in there as well, a little bit of cobalt, just to change that green, maybe a little bit of lavender too. Just going to give that a little sense of distance back there. So this is, as I say, dry. So I could, in fact, come in with a much darker value. But first, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come with a little bit of red into our green, a little bit of the Indian yellow, and make our green a little more acidic. Then come in with some cobalt turquoise. I'm just going to tap into our beans. I think that needs to be a little more yellow. When you put it on, you think you got the right colour. It's always better to test things out, I'm sure of that. I'm just coming down here now with little bits of our beans. These are our bean plants. So I'm going to come in with a cobalt blue colour now, and I think the cobalt blue, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to put that in there for this little tub around here. It may not be exactly cobalt, but it doesn't really make a lot of odds. I'll bring that shape down through there. And while we're into this one, let's mix a little bit more up with some Viridian. Make it quite a strong colour. Picked up a little bit of red there. Let's pick up some more green. And we've got a bit of a grungy dark colour green going on here. And I'm going to start using that into some of these areas up behind all of this. This is where we've got the shadows of the backdrop. Okay, like there. I think we've got a nice little area there which is suggestive of what's going on. I like all of this here. Although there are some violets in here, I'm not going to get all of those in, I'm pretty sure. But I'm sort of building up now. I'm coming in with some, you're going to use some of this blue in there. And I want to come in with this darker. I don't think that's dark enough. In some ways it is. In other ways it's not. And I'm just coming with a bit more cobalt into that colour. On that shadow part there. Nice big strong contrast. And to that end, I can really start now planting some of my lights. I'm going to try and leave white paper, but I've also got some stronger yellows to think about. I'm going to use some aureolin. I'm going to use some Indian yellow actually instead. I think that probably works a little better. Just going to tap in the odd little bit of yellow into some of the flower heads down low here. And I think we need some stronger oranges with the yellow, because we have some other flowers around the bottom here which are well worth just signifying or putting in if you can. We have some other oranges. I'm going to use that orange again with some aureolin this time, and I'm going to pop in a few what could be considered calendula or something up there. I don't know, whatever they are, they're pretty. But there are some I suggested over here, so let's just put some of that in. They're rather dark, but I can come in with some lovely highlight colours if I wanted to. Just putting a little bit of gouache in place will work wonders. I'm going to suggest those there, and that's all I really need to do. There's a lot of sort of plant life going up here, like little stems. I don't know if this is a honeysuckle growing up the side, or whether it's a climber of some sort, and you obviously get a lot of sort of branchwork material that is growing up there. Alright, now just very quickly going to put in some bit of bluish colour to suggest those bits of wood, and that's it. The white space works for me. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put a little bit on there too. And now we're really just sort of ending this. We're pretty much all done. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to come in with some thicker dark marks on there. They will work well with the bold ink pen. And I think I've done enough in the background. That's got a beautiful setup, and it's pushing everything forward and creating lovely sunny aspects. So what I want to do now is I'm going to pick up some of this darker green. I'm going to put a bit of neutral tint to that. Maybe even a bit of burnt sienna in there. And I want some more viridian. I really want a dark green, but I don't want it too cool. So I'm going to come in here now. I'm going to sort of tap in here. That's splendid, because what I'm doing is suggesting the deeper recesses of the bean canes and the plants that are there. lots of little shadows dribbling across that pathway. But you can see now, by the addition and inclusion and the looking of these little color notes, these little shadows, they're running the right way. They're running across the path. You could have them running up and down. You can create a little bump in your path. But essentially, because they're doing what they're doing, they're telling the viewer that they can walk around here. They can go in the show. They can walk around here, sit over here, and this is a massive, beautiful planting of flowers. And I think it does all it needs to do. I'm loving it. Lots of fun. And it's been a lot of fun painting it as well. So one of the final things we're going to be doing is going to put a stronger cobalt colour in, and almost a neat cobalt colour, and I want to come in with a much darker shadowy part of this tub, so that works down in there like that. And although I could have made the blue a little lighter to give a much better accent, you can see that on the photo it is stronger. I could try and lift some of that. I'm not going to try and do that, but I could try if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it well alone and enjoy what I've got. Now, I'm just going to pop back in very quickly. This is a bit too wet to do this with. But I'm just going to come in and little taps of colour help to fill this space in and give a sense of direction and a plane to our bit of grass here. Bring some of that through there. A tap or two up in there. Maybe a little stronger. Bit of blue in that as well. And of course we need to do this. I forgot this one. Nice little strong dark accent of shadow behind that box and over our shed. Just little taps like that. Okay. We're almost home and dry. A little stronger dark in some of these areas, around there at the bottom of this tub, through the back here. Mix some of those colours together. Sorted. Now I'm going to be patient. I've done enough watercolour. I've enjoyed that. The only thing I've just seen I might want to just do, so I'm going to put a little colour in there for a couple of flower pots. And I think there's one in the bucket, or is that's the bulb? I'm going to leave that. Should have been a white bit and the bucket on top. I've just confused the two. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to dry this off now. Just going to come back in with some final aspects of ink with the bold pen, and we're going to round this one up. Okay, so I've got the bold pen. It's pretty much dried. I've given it a good blasting with a hairdryer. And I'm just sort of thinking where I want to emphasize. And I think somewhere down here, I just like the idea of bringing some of these little darker areas of this boarding out. And you there we are. Alright, so a couple of things that I didn't do then, very quickly. Going to suggest a little bit of red. Don't know what that is, but I'm going to put that in there. And what else? There was something else I was going to do. Yes, a little bit of red, light red. This is the English light red. We're going to come down there on that bit of a post there. Nothing too much. That suggests all I need it to. Jobbed. Okay, everybody, one shed done on the allotment site in Saltwood. I had a heap of fun doing it, and what I will say that if you live in the vicinity, then certainly make a note to visit this little set of allotments. I think there are actually 2 little sites there, but there are many sheds, and every one of them has got character, and they're all different to each other. There is also some wonderful walks around the area on the common ground and the woodlands, and it's always full of butterflies at the right time of year as well. Even in winter time, this site offers so much potential subject matter wise to any artist. Sketching, painting on plein air, it doesn't matter. There's so much there to offer you. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and if you have done, then please give it a big thumbs up. And if you've got any questions or suggestions, then put them in the comment section below. Now, as I said, that I am working on all of the thoughts that people have conveyed to me over the last few weeks, and they're all being noted down, and I will be making a few videos along some of them in the future. But if you've got any other thoughts, then please put them in the comments, and I'll love to read them. And as I said, I'll always answer them. And as I said, give it a big thumbs up. Did I say that? Yeah, do that one anyway. And if you're not a subscriber, then please help the channel out, help it grow, help it reach a lot more people who, like you, need to or want to learn to paint. So by subscribing and interacting and supporting the channel, you're telling YouTube that I am well worth pushing forward as a channel. So I'd really appreciate that help from you. And don't forget, there is my Patreon. The reference for this will be over on my Patreon, free for you to download and use. You do not need to be a patron to do that. Please pop over there, look at it, download it, and have a go at this one yourself. But while you're there, if you want to get involved with the Patreon, hey, be my guest. You'll be so welcome, and I'd love to include you as one of my latest patrons. And don't forget that Sky course is still there, and lots of people are taking advantage of it. So why not take a look at it? It's £67 still. It's for over 7 hours, and it does help you an awful lot when it comes to painting your watercolor skies. And I'd love to see you there and help you out as much as I can. Now, one last thing I would like to talk about, and if you're still with me, I really do thank you. Thank you very much for that. And that is that if you look on my website at any time, or on my Podia site where my courses are, I am building a community. Now, this is a community that is absolutely free. You do not need to pay to be a part of it. There will later be certain aspects that you would have to pay for to get much more benefit from what I am offering you. But essentially, the main thrust of the community is a free one. Is to allow like-minded people to talk to each other and talk to me and connect with me at any given time. And as I say, with each other, showcase their work. So if you want to pop on over there, all you've got to do is subscribe to the channel. That's just your email. And yeah, just get involved with the community, sign into the community tab, and just register for that. And I love to get to know some of you. So please do that. Take a look at it. And I'll probably mention it again in a future video. But in the meantime, I'm just rambling on so much anyway. So take care, everybody. Have fun. Till next week. All the best to you. Stay safe. Happy painting. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.